Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, of course. I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host Dave and George. Good evening, gentlemen. Ready to chat some Star Wars as usual?
Yes, I am today.
Yeah, well, as always, it's nice that we've got quite a bit of news to cover as well. So it's be a nice, fun, full-packed episode.
Yeah, like last time we go, we won't have much news, and then all of the news happened, and we had a stupidly long episode. If you haven't seen our 40th anniversary episode, do go back and watch it. It was a cracking one, but we kind of underestimated how much news there was that week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have quite a lot to talk about this week, and as per usual, a few Star Wars Wonders of the Force rants, which have kind of become annoyingly our signature piece. But yes, we might as well go straight into the news, and the first bit of news is a good bit of news for the UK. We are getting hashtag last tease a day early. We are getting it on the 14th of December. Hooray!
Well, it's been like that. I mean, it's been this case for the last for Rogue One and with Force Awakens as well. We got that on the Wednesday midnight going into Thursday morning. So to be honest, I've already booked the days off work the Thursday preparing for that announcement. So I was over the moon when it did come out. That's going to be the case again. But it's nice to see it so far in advance when the Americans are going to get it until the weekend. So it's a good day to have it. It's that lovely run into that Christmas, the week before Christmas happens. So I'm really happy that we're getting on the 14th again. George?
Yeah, it's so nice. I mean, last time I ranted about UK getting shunned again, and I will say the only good thing we ever get is the film one day early. And you know what? You can have your exclusives. I will happily watch a film a day before it could possibly get spoiled. Considering they made us wait 6 weeks. Well, I wasn't really born, but they made us wait 6 weeks for The Phantom Menace. I couldn't have imagined living back then. So in theory, they owe us 42 days of Star Wars films early now.
Yeah, now unfortunately, I do remember having to wait that long. So, unfortunately, showing up our age there, George. Well done.
Always.
Sadly so. Yes, so that was the first bit of news. Second bit of news is a bit of a sad bit of news. Is the Rancho Obi Wan theft. If you haven't seen this bit of news floating around, it's not something that we're particularly happy to report, but it's something that's actually it's a very strange event. I'll let George go into details on this one because he knows a bit more about the story than I do and done the research for this one. But it's something that's very not cool. George, I'll let you kind of take the details on this one.
Yeah, as usual, I was just scrolling through the Twitter world and it popped up like a statement from Rancho Obi Wan, and like a lot of people, I clicked on it initially. The statement could mean anything from "we're shutting down" to "we've just got this exclusive," or and it was a long essay, and Steve Sansweet, over a certain amount of time, they've had a lot of stuff stolen from them, and it's not just things were stolen; it's they were resold. They reckon about 200 grand total. Some of the items have gone for that they knew about at the time of releasing, and what makes it worse is it was clearly by a close friend of his called Chris Cunningham. I think Chris Cunningham. No. Name and shame. That's what I'm saying.
Is it an allegedly or is it definite?
Confirmed. He was he was arrested. He's been released on bail.
It's alleged for the moment until they've had the trial. But yeah, it's pretty much.
He's released on bail.
Continue on.
And obviously, we don't know the finer details. It's something I would love to know. I'd love to see a TV series on how he managed to sneak like a Lego Star Destroyer out of a building. But what makes it sad is he's clearly close friends with Steve Sansweet. He said, I had a lot of trust in this guy, but that's evaporated now. So I haven't been able to do any of that. And there's just I can go into some more finer details which I know about. The statement says he was a member of the R2 Builders Club alongside being one of the B8 Builders too. Not in the film, just the club. And I've just done a bit of digging. I won't go into details, name any more names, but he was banned from all Builders Club stuff in February. And for all I know, this court case may have happened 6 months ago and it got published today, or it happened recently. But clearly, because Chris Cunningham's got a bad reputation, which people have known about, and now he's been getting away with it for so long. All up, he's just a nasty piece of Canadian. And the thing is, like, I've never been to Rancho Obi Wan. I'd love to go. A lot of people want to go. It's like a Star Wars.
All of us here would love to go. Yeah.
And to see, it's a personal collection as well. It's not a company. It's not like a museum. It's someone's personal collection of items, and they do a lot of charity work with it. Most of the donations goes to charity when people come visit him. He's high up on the Lucas hierarchy. I think he should be on the board.
He used to be the director of relations. Yeah,
and he's a big deal. And seeing this, it was quite sad because it is sad news. And what makes it kind of, I guess, sadder is that it was his friend, but also it goes to show that, you know, the Star Wars community, you'd never process that your mate could steal from you, let alone be Star Wars stuff. But one thing I will say that has been positive, I like the fact this has been reported on mainstream news rather than just Star Wars fan sites.
Indeed.
And
We do have a full list of the items that have been stolen and sold so far. So if you have, if you've been, I'll say unlucky enough, if you've been unlucky enough to purchase one of these, feel free to share and get in contact with Rancho Obi Wan. So we have a Han Solo large head, 12-inch back. We have the Death Squad Commander 12B back Palatoy. We have the Jawa cloth cape 12 back Palatoy. Sand People 12A back Palatoy. Ben Kenobi 12 back B Takara sticker. Jara 20 back J. Hammerhead SW21 back card. Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot SW21 back. R5D4 SW21B back card. R2D2 ESB 31 back card. Darth Vader ESB 41 back A. Luke Skywalker Bespin brown hair 47 back. R2D2 with sensor scope ROTJ 65 back Palatoy. Chewbacca Power of the Force 92 back. The Amanam Palatoy Tri-Logo. Hammerhead Palatoy Tri-Logo. Luke Skywalker brown hair Palatoy Tri-Logo. Princess Leia Organa Palatoy Tri-Logo. Yak Face Palatoy Tri-Logo. Lego Millennium Falcon set sealed number 10179. Lego Super Star Destroyer number 10221. Lego Rebel Snowspeeder number 10129. Lego Imperial Shuttle number 10212. Death Star Spherical Cardboard Playset. Toll Toys box with Palatoy innards. There's a huge amount on that list. There's about 200 grand's worth of stuff that was nicked over time. This is the stuff that we know has been someone been put up if you have found it. And that's the thing we're talking about. Stealing the Death Star and stealing Death Star plans is, you know, fantasy, not reality. Unfortunately, it's become reality. And those Lego sets of George Lucas are huge. So it's a massive undertaking. I feel sorry for Steve Sansweet. And naturally, we're going to get the news out here. So if you do see anything, do let them know.
I think it's just, one of my main things, some of the people who've probably bought some of these items have probably saved up, like, these are going to be their grail pieces. Like, this is things that people add into collections, which will probably run them into thousands of dollars, pounds, whatever they spent. And now if you suddenly see this happening and you get the name and you go, oh, I bought one. Oh, okay. And then, tell you what, you do, that's stolen property. It's got to be returned, but you've outlaid thousands of pounds for it. It's insane. It's just that someone could be in a place of trust in somewhere like that. And to walk out of there with some of the stuff. Yes, we talked about the size of the Lego Death Star and the Super Star Destroyer boxes. They're not little boxes of Lego. These are massive sets. I can only think that he's either had a key, he has free reign to go in and come and please when he wanted, and he's just snuck things out. I get some of the smaller toys, probably easy. In a place that has hundreds of thousands of pieces, that you slip out one figure that someone's not going to pick that up initially. But you would think there's something and some inventory kit that someone has somewhere that knows when stock's missing. And no matter how hard that is, they've got to have known everything that's in there to the letter. I've got a small collection. To me, it's quite big. And I'd certainly notice when a piece was missing.
It's same.
It's crazy.
It's a very sad event, but so that's the list there for you. We'll I think we'll get George, if you do a post on the page at some point with that list, so that people, if they do find it, can contact Rancho Obi Wan. But yes, that's unfortunate. Some of the sad news out of the way. We would do a standard one to the Force rant against a disgusting piece of human slime like that, but I think we're going to leave it for this thing. Just know that if you do find anything, just let them know. So that was that. So now we got the Lucas marketing team referring to Anakin's lightsaber as now Rey's. That's a very interesting take on that item, because the Skywalker blade, as it's primarily been known, it's been passed down from father to son from well, via Obi Wan, obviously. And it was something that's always referred to as kind of the Skywalker family blade, and the Star Wars saga was a Skywalker family saga. And it does kind of bring the discussion back to Rey's parentage slightly, but also as to where they're going now with these films. It also kind of then shows that she may not be getting her own lightsaber if she's going to continue on with Luke's or Anakin's with now her lightsaber. It'll be very interesting to see where they go with this in the future. I mean, what did you guys think when this was announced?
Personally, to me, it's Anakin's lightsaber. I know to a lot of people it's Luke's. It's a generational thing. The key word for me, I mean, this came from Pablo Hidalgo. The key word was marketing, referring to it as Rey's lightsaber, not the story group, not anyone else. The marketing department are referring it as Rey's lightsaber. I completely get it. I mean, she's on the episode 8 merchandise. It's her, the lightsaber. Marketing the film, this is her lightsaber. Marketing episode 7, it was probably Finn's lightsaber. Yeah, it's interesting because by officially saying that, though, it's going to raise a lot of questions. We will find out in episode 8, obviously, the heritage obviously had lightsaber, but it completely makes sense for marketing. It's her at the end of the last film. If she gets a new lightsaber, and maybe her hand gets chopped off in 8, and in episode 11 she'll get given it to her by some kid, then fair enough. But I don't mind it being Rey's lightsaber. It will always be Anakin's to me, and I just think it's a generational thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that completely. I think it's definitely going forward. She's got it in the trailer. She's in all the publicity photos. It's going forward for her. Kids who are coming into these films, younger, are going to see that with her, and not if they're going to put that out there. If they put that in a box now as a toy and have Anakin's lightsaber on, it's a confusion thing. I think so. Definitely for marketing, it will. We always know. I mean, fans will always know where the history of that lightsaber. We all know it's Anakin's lightsaber,
for sure.
But yeah, I totally get the giving it to Rey. It is now her lightsaber. It's passed on. I don't think Luke will take that back. I think we'll see her with that now. Continue.
No, I'm hoping that Luke will have his green lightsaber. Because as I said, that's for me always been my favorite lightsaber of all time. So yes, that I'm okay with them doing it for marketing, but again, like Luke in Return of the Jedi, I hope in whatever happens in episode 9 that she builds her own lightsaber. That would be kind of a cool thing to see. Like maybe just depending on what happens in #Lasties, depending where the training goes and where it gets left off, maybe we could see her going to somewhere like Ilum or to Lothal or someone we know there are Kyber crystals, and building her own lightsaber. That would be kind of cool to see. But yeah, that's just kind of future speculation. As the guy said, though, although it was Pablo Hidalgo saying it was for the marketing department, not the story group. If the story group had said it, that would have been a slightly different piece of news and been very huge if the story group turned around and started calling it Rey's lightsaber. That's something be very different. But yes, yeah, so just a nice little small piece of news there. The next one we have on our list here is the Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds auction that's going on later this year. Again, George, you know a bit more about this story than I do.
Yeah, so it was on the news that obviously with the tragedy what happened to both of them, everything got passed on to, I think, is it Todd Fisher, the brother?
Yeah.
And basically he's kind of come at it, these two, anyone that knows know they had extravagant art collections. They loved collecting stuff, did some beautiful stuff around the house, stuff like that. And essentially what he said that he's doing an auction at the end of the year. Because I'm just going to assume it's, obviously we don't know the wills and stuff, but I'm going to assume that the family have kind of gone in and took a few things each, maybe something like that, but the rest of it, rather than have it gather dust, they're just going to auction it off. And some of the items were on the news where you can buy them. Some of them were like replica figures of Leia that Carrie owned, or like some jokey things, stuff you'd expect Carrie to have, stuff you'd expect Debbie to have, some amazing art pieces, some light-hearted comedy things. It's kind of been in the news, and it'll be interesting to see what happens and what else goes on sale. And that is in September, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the sort of price is going to be like, but some of the items are going to be quite cool. Some of them, are going to have a quirky aspect to it with Carrie Fisher, but I can imagine the price is going to be quite high. Is it going to the family or is it going to a charity? I can't remember that one. I didn't read the story.
I would be shocked if it wasn't charity. I certainly hope it's charity. I think that's the right way of doing it. But yeah, I think it probably is. I should have actually double checked that. That's my bad. But no, just a little bit of news that it's going to be interesting, because I mean, a couple of years ago, someone sold the bikini worn by Carrie for like $100,000. So I don't think anything will fetch that much, but you never know with this day and age what people are willing to pay for things. And Actually, while we're speaking about Carrie, though, we'll add in something you mentioned a minute ago. At a convention recently, for those that obviously know Gary the Bulldog, Gary Fisher, an absolute hero amongst the Star Wars fan base. For people that don't know, custody didn't go to Billy Lord. It went to her PA because she was with Carrie 24/7. Gary knew her better than Billy did. Completely understandable. I don't think anyone kicked up a fuss. However, at Comic-Con in America a couple of weeks ago, Gary Fisher was there. But for picture opportunities and photographs at $80 each, apparently. Yeah, so it was.
Yeah, it was $40 for a photograph, and it was 80 for a photo.
I'd just like to, before we go any further, let's stop using the word photograph, as I might throw something.
Yeah. And what was more disgusting, this wasn't even for charity.
No,
I did my research. I was talking to the guys when this story broke, and I made sure to delve into the Alamo Con website. I delved into the photographing website. I managed to find all the Facebook links. Not a single bit anywhere was it mentioned that any money was going to charity for this. And I'm not saying that charity would have made it acceptable, but at least it would have been better than what it was, which, in my honest opinion, it's just animal exploitation. Gary went with Carrie wherever she went. However, that is a dog going with its owner to where the owner was going, in a very simplistic point of view. Now, this is an animal that is being made to stay in a sweaty convention hall that's going to be very hot, very loud, and although they might be used to the environment, it's not like he's going there with her own anymore. It's going there to basically be sold. It's not because he's going there, and as George will testify for this one, when people met Carrie, you could meet Gary as well. She just asked you to donate to charity. She didn't mind you doing it, but this is just pure profiteering, and it's not right. It really isn't. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt when you saw the news, but when I saw it, I was absolutely disgusted.
I'm disgusted for other reasons than that, but we own 2 bulldogs at home. British bulldogs, not French bulldogs. They're still very similar. My dogs need sleep, and it's a breed where they have a lot of rest, a lot of sleep. They can't cope and stuff like that. Gary is a very special dog. He was on set. However, Carrie Fisher would make sure that everything's there for Gary when he needs to be there, in the sense that he was on set because she was on set, but you just know that he was pampered out. They said he was spoiled, that he was always with them, blah, blah, blah. It was brilliant stories. You'd see any shows he was on, she'd bring him with him. But when at Celebration last year, he was fast asleep next to her when we saw him. And what hits me most is that, as I know the breed very, very well, it sickens me that this is probably a dog that would be forced to, if it was dozing off, I can picture an owner like prodding him, trying to keep him awake, if anyone's stupid enough to get an autograph from him, to get a picture with him. And it's just animal cruelty. It's lowest level. It's absolutely vile. I don't know why he hasn't been taken off already. I know he was at Star Wars Celebration, but she was walking him on the floor. That's fine. But she's selling a dog out. This is the PA of Carrie Fisher. She was not a poor PA. She did not need any money. She would have been absolutely minted. Not only she inherited one of the most famous dogs in the world at the minute, but she's now exploiting him for money, and it just sickens me as someone that owns dogs of the breed and knows how many health issues they have, what they go through, and to see him getting sold off for someone's profiteering is disgusting, and she should be nowhere near a dog in the future.
I'm with you guys. I mean, it's I just can't even fathom at what point someone would think laying down $80 to meet a dog, no matter how many times it's been near someone famous, is just absolute insanity. And I say, like George says, to force an animal to sit for a full day to get photographs when it could be pure strange. If people could come in smelling of animals, it's just I don't like it. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth. It really does. And I think it's nothing that Carrie would have. I'm sure it's not in Carrie's will. Please take Carrie to all the conventions and make some money from him. Please do that. I'm sure she was hoping to just have a nice, quiet life. And it's not good. It's not big. It's not clever. But we've given enough. Let's move on. It's an awful story.
It is. It's sad, but yeah, we'll move on to our next piece, which is something that's actually really cool. John Boyega released I think they call it a boomerang. The little videos that keep on playing back. on Instagram of his
Right,
episode
down
8
the
gun. I don't know these things. I'm not that down with them.
I have no idea. That's fine. Okay.
It's basically it's a GIF. It's a video that keeps playing back on itself. But yes, of his gun that you got to keep from episode 8, and it looks absolutely awesome. It lights up and everything. It's got like it basically looks a very ridiculously high-end toy, and it's so cool. I want one.
You'll probably be able to buy one at the end of the year.
I was going to say, yeah, not be long.
If this is-
You can own that lightsaber, not lightsaber gun, because right now someone is 3D printing that somewhere. If not Hasbro, actually manufacturing that ready to go out for sale as the film drops. When I did see it, you're right. I thought that it looked very much like a high-end toy with a really cool LED in the top. But no, the fact that we get to see something that's been taken from set, it's nice to see stuff's already starting to leak out of there. Some props and things. It's yeah, I can't believe we're only like 100. I think it was 130 days out. Someone had posted earlier today for the film. It's crazy that's coming out. But yeah, I mean, it's cool that we're going to see some stuff that's going to be used on the screen. That we're going to see these new weapons and things that are now become part of the lexicon of the stuff that we know about. It's great.
Indeed, it is. Well, you say 130 days. Don't forget, this is episode 11 for us, which means we've been going for 22 weeks already. So we're already halfway through the year, and halfway through one to the fourth year, which is already quite scary. So yes, no, I thought it looked absolutely wicked. I can't wait to see more of the stuff leaked, or well, I say leaked, more of the stuff released, more of what we have in store for #Lasties. But I just thought it was a very cool little video, and when I saw it, I freaked out. It was really cool.
You like it? You like the gun?
Oh yeah, no, the gun looks cool. I will, if they release one, or when they release one, I should say, I probably will buy one. It just looks so cool. Next up on the list, we have Colin Trevorrow's little piece about Carrie Fisher. Again, George brought this piece up, so unfortunately I had a massive migraine today. I'm going to have to do the schedule, so George wants pieces together, and yes, I know you've got more information on this one.
Yeah, so Colin Trevorrow did a talk. I can't tell you which source it was with, but he was talking about episode 9 and plans for Carrie Fisher, and obviously we all know that she was going to be a major character, and he basically said she's a major character. That's not a secret. She really was. It was sad for all of us, mostly because she was so loved by the Stars family and everyone that worked with her. I feel like our options are limited mostly by ourselves, and there's only certain things that we're willing to do. I guarantee you, it'll be handled with love and respect and all of the soul that Carrie Fisher deserves. It's a nice statement. It's a great testament to her, and not in like a bullshitty, I'm looking at the film's way. This is again reiterating what everyone has said, which is just nice to keep getting the confirmation that they're not going to CGI her or do anything like that. It's something he's going to get. Sorry, my voice again. It's something he's going to get asked a lot over the next couple of years, I reckon. So it's nice to get that confirmation.
Yeah, right. Really, all the press tour. That's pretty much going to be one of the first journalist questions. How did you get around Carrie's passing, and what can we see that's going to come? And it's going to be a strange one. It really is. But it's come across that as a nice story. They're going to pay as much respect as they can. So I still am of the belief that episode 9 will start. It's somewhere in the crawl that Princess Leia has died, and it will start with a celebration of Princess Leia, maybe her funeral to her, something like that. That's my take. I think that's what might happen. But what do you got, George? What do you think about what they might do? Or
I don't know. It sounds really bad. I don't really want to know. Like I try not to think about it because I know that when the time comes for episode 9, like 8's going to be emotional watching it just naturally because of obviously with everything that's happened with her, and whether they have already got something planned in 8 and this is like a nasty swerve. I don't think it is that. I really don't think it is. But I trust them to do the right thing, and I do think they will do the right thing, which is the most important thing.
Bill?
Indeed. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. I reckon they might put something in the crawl. I reckon it could be used as a turning point for Kylo, but then again, I don't know what... They need to be very careful with how they handle it. They might put it in a book, they might put it in a comic, they might put it in a film, but whatever they do, I know they will be respectful with it. It's just going to be very interesting to see how they go about doing it. I mean, they won't do it... Yes, they won't do it nasty, they won't do it... without irreverence, but it's just going to be very interesting to see how they handle it in universe, because everyone says that her performance in 8 is Oscar worthy, that she's going to be a major plot point for 9. So how they then go about fixing that for 9, we'll see. It's a couple of years off. I think we will be able to handle it better after we see 8, because at least then we'll be able to see where the storyline's going, so we can see what they might be able to do with it. But yes, it'll be very interesting to see.
Because I've got a spoiler warning right now that after episode 8 is aired, and we'll probably be straight on here to talk about that, we will be snotty, slobbering, crying.
That's a pretty much big spoiler we can put out right now. We will be
sponsored by a tissue company. But yeah, it's it'll be worth watching.
We will be absolute messes, but yes, we will be on as soon as it's on. Yes, next piece after that is recently we had the Monaco F1 Grand Prix, where they had a F1 Renault team made a deal with Lucasfilm for Star Wars to sponsor them for the race. The drivers wore pilot themed race gear. Lucas was there and R2 was there, so there's some 5 first were there. The race didn't go exactly to plan for Renault, but there was some cool sponsoring there. I mean, I remember they did it back in 2005 with Red Bull for the Monaco Grand Prix again for Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was a long time ago now, but so yes, it isn't the first time Star Wars have done that, but yeah, I thought it was quite cool. I mean, I know George, you're an F1 fan as well, so I know you would have seen that.
Yeah, this was like 2 of my favorite things coming together. Obviously, everyone knows Lucas has always been a big racing fan. His early days, he wouldn't have been making films if it weren't for him being a boy racer and speeding and being in a car crash. So, yeah, he's always at races. He does a few podium speeches. He's good mates with Lewis Hamilton, for those that don't know. And literally, I just woke up for the Monaco Grand Prix. For those that don't know about F1, it's Monaco. It's the glamorous race of the year, the biggest race of the year, not the actual best race of the year.
Oh my God, no, it's so boring.
It's a terrible race. It's a terrible race.
It really is the most boring race of the year.
And Lucas was there, and literally all these pictures started popping up with Renault. I was like, hey up. And yeah, it was the 40th anniversary weekend. I think that was the big thing. They got it on the car. George Lucas was posing with them. The race gear the drivers were wearing was great. It's a shame that they've got one of the worst drivers in the sport, but this isn't the right podcast to talk about that.
No.
But yeah, it was really bizarre, but really cool. It's nice that F1. I mean, not to talk about F1, but going into the old owner, that wouldn't have been allowed. Whereas the new owner, he wants to commercialize, he wants to make it bigger, and that Star Wars thing helped. I mean, I saw this picture on places that weren't just Star Wars fans. I saw it from like F1 fans, and it was awesome seeing these 2 worlds come together. And I really hope they do next year. When we'll be getting a May film every year now, so maybe Monaco Grand Prix will just become the Star Wars Grand Prix each year. You never know.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a different team with just hashtag Lasties all over it. That would be cool.
Copyright and making us rich, and we'll be at Monaco.
We can only dream. We can only dream. Although, as I said, the last time it happened was in 2005 for Revenge of the Sith. The Red Bull team did it, and at that point, yeah, Lucas was there, Hayden Christensen was there. Sure, what else was there? But yeah, they did the Red Bull up with again with Revenge of the Sith logos, and that was a long time ago. It was 2005. And that's a funny thing. It draws back to what I said in the last episode. For me, one of the coolest things at the moment is I'm having a discussion with a friend of mine. You know him as Robin. Down in the comments, he's Serenity Forever 25. I said to him, we're very lucky that this was years ago, that we're very lucky to be discussing a Star Wars film in our lifetime. And now I feel even luckier the fact that it's now every other week get to chat with you guys about Star Wars. And again, I remember when this came out, it's one of the coolest things to see because I'm a big F1 fan. And yeah, then proves my age, the fact that I remember it from 2005. But yeah, again, cool to see. I love a little marketing ploy. It wasn't overly done as well. It wasn't publicized everywhere. It wasn't overly done, but it was nice to see a nice little tribute going on. Always good to see Lucas about, especially since Celebration. It was the first time we've seen him in a while. So then finally in the news, we have the 40th anniversary ILM reunion. That was something cool. I don't think I actually saw that when it came out. I know, George, you pulled this one up yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, what happened on the 40th anniversary in America, they had a massive reunion at ILM of the original ILM guys. Even George Lucas' ex-wife, Marcia, was there, who obviously edited episode 4. They got everyone that worked in the original trilogy, as many as they could. Gary Kurtz was there as well in attendance, which I thought was a really nice little throwback given everything that happened with them. And they just had as many of the former guys together as they can. And there's all these sort of nostalgia stories coming out where I haven't spoken to them for 40 years, but it felt like yesterday, and you know all that typical stuff. But I thought it was quite cool because something like that, you'd expect them to be big in that for ages, but no, it quietly happened, and then it was reported the next day, and I thought that would have been really awesome to be some of those guys that, you know, they worked in these films and they've been able to see each other. It's probably really awesome for them.
Oh yeah, you had so many famous people like Dennis Muren and other people there, but it was nice to see just a celebration of their work, but to keep themselves like a school reunion, to go there, meet up with people you haven't seen in a while, catch up with old friends, ignore old bullies, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, it was nice to see. Nice to see also the big 40th anniversary logo behind them and things. It was a nice little piece.
It's a great photo as well. I do love that. And I said that ILM, that's where it all started with Star Wars, and to be still talking about ILM now and being one of the best graphics houses in the world it's an amazing thing, that an accomplishment for them to have grown from kids who didn't know what they were doing when they started to this. It's absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, if we talk about that as well, you got to mention for sure THX, the Skywalker sound again. Lucas set about creating. He didn't want to go to the studios for money. He didn't want to go to the studios for the major things. So he set up things himself. He wanted to do things without going to the monopoly, and then basically became what he hated the most. So he did end up turning to the dark side. But that's not the point. The point is he ended up creating THX. He ended up creating Skywalker sound. He ended up creating
Pixar.
That's it. Thank you. Just escaped from my mind again. So many things we have to be thankful for from George Lucas. Again, not just Star Wars. But yes, I think that's the end of the news. I think it is on this one.
Yeah.
We'll go straight into Toy Shelf. Toy Shelf got a lot of cool things this week. First up is the SDCC 2017 Pop Funkos unveiled. We have quite a few things. That we have the hologram Snoke. We have Bodhi. We have Tank Commander. We have a Princess Leia hologram and R2-D2 double pack as well.
Yeah, I guess with Comic-Con just over a month away now, it's the exclusives are going to start getting announced. We know we've got Thrawn, and I guess for the Funko collectors, I personally am not one. However, I do have Thrawn on order. I do have one coming. The only one I said I'd never buy, and I'm getting him. And yeah, I just assume that it's hitting the marketing side. They've got to unveil what people are going to be after. Because although I don't like it, the pop collectors are massive. People love this thing. It's a big draw at every event, and you know they've got 4 more at San Diego than you got a Star Wars Celebration in England last year. So
let's put it right as well. It's exclusive bunny ears for anyone who's listening and not watching, inverted commas, because we know that from experience that these exclusives will be out in the real world at some point.
They were on their way out there. I haven't seen the fall-on from last year anywhere, though. That's the interesting thing.
There's probably made less of him because there was just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I mean, we'll get into it now, but for anyone that doesn't know, these so-called Star Wars Celebration exclusives from 2017, www.forbiddenplanet.co.uk. There you go. There's your exclusives. Oh, being sold at Forbidden Planet.
All available in good numbers. There doesn't seem to be any selling out. I know George and I jumped on, and I've got as well as Thrawn. I've ordered the Chopper in his Imperial paint job. They're the 2 that I really wanted when I saw them coming out, and they're the 2 I've now been able to get without going anywhere near Star Wars Celebration other than a monitor on a computer. So yeah, it's the people who created them, and people out. There's probably a lot of people who paid a lot of money for them just after Celebration on sites where you make auctions online. There's only one, but anyway. So yeah, there's probably some people there who are probably a little bit annoyed that these are now just making their way to comic book shops and things like that. So, but yeah, good for me. And George.
That and the people like me who spent a silly amount of money on the Star Wars Celebration nerd block who got seriously shafted.
Like when it came out, we said on the one, I think it was the episode before last, that Phil got fucked over.
No, he didn't get that. He got messed up.
He got messed about. We said we cannot believe you didn't even get a pop.
No.
4 weeks later, the pops are available to buy. It's not like it's on the UK Forbidden Planet. It's on their international site, which ships everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really a sad thing, but going off these pops, As someone that's not big on them, I think they are quite cool. I was kind of shocked they hadn't already done Bodhi. I thought the whole of the original Rogue One guys were out, but
the Snoke.
I was going to say,
cool. And the Tank Commander actually.
I think this is the first Snoke official piece of merchandise as well. I could be wrong.
It is, but for now, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll be able to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, they're kind of cool. I like the layer or the layer in the R2. I don't know if it's got a memorial thing for carry, but that'd been a cool little touch to add onto it.
And continuing the exclusive vibe, though, we also had to report on the Cody with Emperor that's also been unveiled, but it's not an STCC exclusive. Funny enough, it's just was it a Walmart exclusive? This one?
It's not even Walmart. It's a company I've never heard of. It was announced this morning or the day before, just after all these ones were there. I think it might be they tagged Europe Funko in it, so I wonder if it's some European company that's got the rights, but. It looks the Sworn Design pops. It's awesome. It's Commander Cody, and in his hand he's got the little hologram Empire to doing his Order 66 duties. But I thought that was a really cool.
I do want to get my hands on just to basically have the meme of there's a tiny monk in my pocket. I want to have the tiny Emperor. That just looks so cool. It's like when I bought the Obi Wan, the FTCC exclusive that. Was 30 quid when it was on sale. Thank you, George, for letting us know about that one. When that arrived, had to have the cool hologram layer with that. So again, to add to the cool hologram set, because I know George, you're like me. I have the Obi-Wan from the 97 special edition trilogy set. I think you've got the.
I've got the backdrop of Ewok Village. Yeah. I have the 3. I think it's the Power of the Force Ghosts. Hayden Christensen Force Ghosts. That is a child artifact I remember getting as a kid. I've always treasured it. I was tempted to actually buy another one of it in the box, but that would defeat my childhood. So I just like it the way it is. It's still on display after a long time.
Yeah, no, I have bought the Obi-Wan in the past year or so for my own personal collection. I do love that. But yes, so then we'll move on to the new LEGO sets that are available in stores now, and then we'll talk about some LEGO sets that are coming up as well. Again, George, I'll let you talk about the LEGO sets that are coming up.
A couple of months ago, we reported some of the LEGO sets got leaked, then they officially got unveiled. I don't have a list of them, but I have 2 of them in my hands. That's one way of doing it. We have Crispy Anakin, which I know Dave ordered too, and we have a little battle pack that has basically got it for the minifigures. But essentially, the new wave of LEGO Star Wars sets are out now. I think it was just LEGO in general released the entirety of their summer collection together. There's like LEGO Batman, LEGO Disney Princess, LEGO Friends, LEGO Star Wars, which is obviously the one people care about. I won't lie, there's not many sets that actually look any good except these 2. Nothing major, nothing from Rogue One, which I was very shocked about.
Yeah, it would have been the last film. I'm with you on that. I was quite surprised. I thought there might be, because considering the packaging is all Rogue One based.
There is still no Rogue One toy. And I mean, in terms of the title ship, Rogue One, there is no Hasbro figure, there is no X-Wing figure, there is no Lego figure. There is a Lego set for it. There is nothing for the title ship, and it's really odd.
Yeah, and I just don't get it, because the next wave that go on sale, Lego do it in thirds, don't they? They'll do, obviously most companies do cores, but Lego, they want to be their own little thing. You get the September, which we know is Force Ride in Episode 8. We'll be talking about that in a minute. And they did one in January, which had a couple of Rogue One things, but nothing too Rogue One. The Battle of Scarif and U-Wing and stuff. And this is Wave 3, and there's more Force Awakens stuff. Like, they released the Quantum Jumper, and that was in the film for 1 second.
The Quad Jumper, yes.
That's the one, sorry, yeah.
Quantum Jumper. Quantum Leap.
The set that George and I bought with Crispy Anakin in, which it's a repeat of a smaller set, which was the Darth Vader set. It's been out before.
I do want this set. It was annoying that you guys have got it. I do want it. So I forgot to mention one thing when we came to the Pops. We also have the next wave out for Star Wars, which is the young Jyn Erso, who actually has the Stormtrooper figure in her hand, which is beautifully done. We have the Death Star droid, not AP5, luckily. Galen Erso in his Imperial regalia, and Wheatcliff QB, which was another one of Warwick Davis's characters. Again, they all begin with W, so if you ever see a tiny character beginning with W, you know who it is. So those got released, I think either last week or beginning of this week, so it was something that we didn't report on the Facebook page, but yes, that also came out, so just to back that up. Yes.
Yeah,
so
that's one thing that Lego kind of doing. It seems to be going back to a lot of their previous sets that they've had smaller, and expanding upon them. I mean, this set when it initially came out probably had Darth Vader's change. I think it was only probably about a 50, 60 piece set, and it's now a much larger set, a couple of hundred pieces, some expanded and some excellent figures. Like the Crispy Anakin figure is literally the reason I bought the set, to get battle damaged Anakin. So yeah, it's a great little piece. I do love the Lego sets. The minifigures sometimes outweighs having the actual set for me. Sometimes I'll just save the blocks and try and build other things. At the moment, I'm buying the pieces to build the detention block set from San Diego, from Celebration 17. So I'm about a third of the way through owning the pieces of that, because there's nothing there that was exclusive. They're just standard Lego pieces. So I'm going to get that. So I want to get more pieces of that.
Yeah, it's a weird one because with me, I'm someone that I didn't buy. I mean, I had Lego as a kid. I think the last Lego set I bought until Rogue One was the 2005 Anakin versus Obi Wan duel, where you had light up lightsabers. I remember getting that when I was younger. That was the last Lego set I ever had. I was desperate for an Arc 1705, but never got it. And then naturally, at the age of 9, you just stopped getting them. And last year, I kind of went back to it. I chose not to for Force Awakens, thank God, because I would have spent way too much money. But now I'm going back to it. I'm noticing I'm picking up on a lot of things, and especially when people were saying, that had just been done a couple of years ago. I would have probably bought it a couple of years ago. I was buying them, but I'm kind of grateful in the sense that I don't need it. I've got a lot of original things from the first couple of years.
I have upstairs somewhere. I know they have the pieces for it, and I need to put that together at some point to find the manual. I know you find them online. I have the very first Lego set they released for Star Wars, which was the Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul mini set, which had the Darth Maul speed and everything. Yeah, I had that when it came out, and I also got the original. I know you've got the re-release speeder, but I have Luke's original speeder as well when you had the yellow heads and things. So I do have.
Oh yeah, I've got most of them. I've got so many. As a kid, I mean, Lego was apparently expensive when I was a kid. Lego was. However, it's very expensive now, and this is what my parents always say. But I think the gap of expensive then, if it was inflation, they've just added a lot more on now. I don't think it equates as much as it did back then, but crikey, there was a lot. And the yellow head ones, that was the biggest shock, because I noticed that Lego figures started coloured in. Not in a bad way. They were always yellow to me. Harry Potter ones, Star Wars ones. You had that little top right image of the lightsabers together and stuff. And it's cool getting back to them because, these are expensive. But if this set was 10 years ago, that would have been half as many pieces, because I guess with 3D printers, stuff like that, they can't really make it as well as they could have back then, because it's a lot cheaper now to make Legos than it was in 2005.
They have the creators obviously now who sit and can make so many things now, and they have such a big team, and I think they just want to make obviously sets better and better, getting closer and closer to the actual, so it looks a bit more like what they're building. So yeah, it's great. It's great to be a little collector. That's my main thing. I collect Lego and I collect Star Wars. So that they're
together, it's just awesome. I remember. I said the original Darth Maul I had it was all printed on, and now you can get it with the kind of hairpiece that actually gives you the horns on it. So it's kind of cool to see where they come from, where they're going to. So Lego's one of those things that it does bridge age gaps, because it's and as a parent, Dave, you'll know this. It's something that you can get with your child and sit down and play with them and introduce them into a world that.
My son play with my Lego.
Well, I was saying, it's something that you can do. That I remember sitting and playing with my dad and playing with my Lego and things. And it's a set that not only Lego's one of those things, and not only can you get these cool sets, you also get just bucket loads of it, and you can lose yourself in it and build. It helps children build a world of imagination, and it helps grown-ups kind of go, oh yeah, life isn't so bad. I don't have to kill myself. Yes. So we should move on from the Lego on to our next cool piece, which was the leaked Lego.
Yes. I forgot to write this down, and this was the one thing I was buzzing to talk about.
Luckily, I reminded you.
yes, you did. Thank God. So literally, there was a day or two after last episode, there had some images popped up online of Lego sets that are going to be available at Last Jedi. And this day and age, you see a lot of rumors and a lot of fake images, fake news, apparently. And these are legit as hell. They've got the new packaging. They are clearly the Lego sets. They have images that you just don't Photoshop because it's not obvious they're Photoshopped. And there were 3 Lego sets that leaks. And I'll go the first one. I've got a couple of images on my screen now. The First Order Heavy Assault Walker. Basically, the new AT-AT, which you can kind of see in the trailer. I won't lie, it's a Lego image. I don't know how it's going to look in the film, but it looks kind of cool. The Lego minifigures, however, are much more intriguing. And I'm going to drop you a spoiler warning now, because Rey is in this First Order Heavy Assault Walker with a lightsaber. And that can mean anything for the film. I'm trying to zoom in to read the other names, but across the 3 Lego sets, there's a Rey, Resistance Trooper, Captain Poe Dameron.
I saw that. Yeah, that's
a good promotion.
Yeah.
A well-deserved one. And generic First Order Stormtroopers and whatnot. So that's the first Lego set.
There's the First Order Sergeant as well.
That's the one. I can't read the small writing. That's my issue, is that I didn't properly equip for this. The second set, which is one that I really don't want to pick up, and I'm scared that I will, is...
No, you want it greatly. You're just worried for your wallet. Don't lie.
Yes. The First Order Star Destroyer.
I want it as well.
The best thing about this is that it comes with a minifigure of Chip from Back to the Future 2 in his golden robe and all that stuff. I was completely shocked that Chip is Snoke. Nice pair of modern politics. We get that with it. We get Black BB-8, not from a racist standpoint, but...
you get the First Order BB unit, which is BB-RD, if I remember correctly, something like that. I mean, I know... Robin will correct me in the comments below in a second. I know that's what his
is that
job
the set
is.
with the Snoke figure, yeah? That's the...
Yes.
Biff.
But which does show that he is... No, it's not that they've made a large figure, and I know he's rumoured to be a really tall character, but now is that rubbish? Because he's regular Lego guy size, actually.
I'm intrigued. He looks, I mean, not in like a nasty way. He's just bold. Like, we know he's bold, but it's the Lego bold, and he just looks like every generic Sky Lego figure I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But the rumors of the golden robe...
BB-9E, that is the First Order BB unit.
And wait till Saphira releases another version of it. Because everything looks cooler in black, says Batman.
Oh, the Prophet. Yeah, this is true.
And then we got a third Lego set, which I am struggling to find an image of, but I can describe it to you. It's the not First Order, sorry. It's a Lego Resistance bomber. I think that's what it's called. It's in the trailer from the space battle. What's more interesting with this Lego set is that it comes with a Lego of I've already forgotten her name. Sorry, I've got it here. Sorry, Vice Admiral Holdo, all we know as Laura Dern. Resistance Gunner Page, which is, as we now know, thanks to Vanity Fair, the sister of Rose. Poe Dameron, Resistance Bombarder, Resistance Bomber Pilot. Very, very cool Lego set. I guess that's 3 that are going to hit the shelves on Force Friday, but that's the only ones that got leaked, and I terribly didn't come prepared for this bit, so that's why I'm dawdling.
But it's just exciting. I mean, there's going to be more and more sets coming. I mean, obviously, if they're the 3 that leaked, you've got to think there's probably smaller sets as well that are going to be coming out. We're going to be inundated towards the release of the film with these sets. And the worst thing is trying to now avoid them, because some of them do include spoilers. It's kind of crazy to kind of think of a Lego toy. It's like, oh, that's from that.
It happened with Force Awakens and with Rogue One. We had things spoilt with Lego sets before. It's one of those things where you have to be very careful reading too much into the spoilers as well, though you can get things completely off whack. But also you have to be very careful with just viewing them in the first place, because they can contain quite a few spoilers, even unintentionally. Lucasfilm aren't always happy when toy sets get released ahead of schedule, because it can create spoilers. But yeah, we're very much looking forward to that, although the guys' wallets aren't. I mean, yeah, my wallet probably isn't either, because I know I'll probably get the the First Order Star Destroyer, because it does look wicked. But yes, so we should move on from things that hurt our wallet to things that will hurt our wallet with the Battlefront 2 gameplay. It's coming this Saturday at, I think it's
E3,
8 UK time, because it's 9:30 p.m. Paris time on the announcement they've got on the Battlefront page at the moment. Yes, it's from E3 as EA Play. They're doing a massive assault on Theed. There's about 20-person assault on there. We've got 4 new heroes to be unveiled. You've got so much stuff for it. I mean, George, again, you've done research for this, but I cannot wait for this game to come out.
Yeah, it's a bizarre one. So EA Play's happening this weekend. E3 is the week after, which to me makes no sense. Why don't they just wait a week? Because it's common sense.
Well, it's an exclusive, basically, launch there, so
yeah, it's just.
I can see that.
It's E3 though, but
yeah,
I understand why, but that's just maybe a nitpick.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so they're gonna do a new trailer as confirmed on the Star Wars show, which is why we were late. It wasn't me being late. We were watching Star Wars show, no questions asked, and they released an image of Theed. We know it's the assault on Theed. They've mentioned that all 3 eras will be playing on this map across the evening, so we're going to get different gameplays. 4 new heroes being unveiled. I'm very intrigued to see who these heroes are. Obviously, the minute we have Maul, Yoda, Luke, Rey, and Ren confirmed. I want them to be people we haven't seen yet, so new or old era. It'd be really boring if it was just like 3 people we already know we're going to be in it. Give us some prequel stuff.
Yeah.
Confirm that the Naboo starship's can be piloted. I thought this to be common sense, but I guess the confirmation doesn't sink in that we're getting more than 4 different ships you can pilot in this game. And it's going to be 20 on 20v20 assault. That's going to go online with a new trailer. Plus this, I guess this is going to be the beta or the demo map because it's going to be teams that they've picked for it. And that's going to stream on Saturday, and it's going to be awesome because this game is going to change people's lives. By change people's lives, I mean you lock yourself in your room and you don't come out for like a week.
So nothing new then. So when you say changing people's lives, you mean not at all.
I mean, I think this could be one with having a first single player mode. This is going to be something I'm really looking forward to. Which, yeah, games sometimes take them or leave them, but this is certainly what I'm looking forward to. I think if we get quite a bit of news or it looks really good, I think hopefully we'll have something. We might have a report after we've seen that and talk about what we've seen.
Okay, sorry, just breaking news from the comments below. Again, Robin's kind of my Lego guy on this set. He does help me out here, and he has also reported there are actually 4 more Lasty sets that haven't been revealed yet. So not only are we getting the 3 that have been leaked, there are plenty more to come. So I'm sorry, people's wallets, they're getting hurt even more.
I'm just going to assume that we're going to get like Luke and Rey on a planet, like a £20 Lego. We'll get like 2 £20 Lego sets.
Yeah.
Like one
we'll
or
probably
two
get
30s,
the
then these
Pack
expensive
2.
ones.
We'll also probably get Kylo Ren Starfighter, I can imagine as well.
Yeah. It'll just be they do multiple sets for multiple prices, so it'll be probably 2 20s, 2 40s, 2 60s.
Kylo's ship has actually been confirmed to be one of them. So yes, we will be getting that. Oh, my wallet's going to hurt because I know I'll be getting that because I think it looks absolutely awesome. That's something we previewed on last time's show, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the few bits of news from last time.
Yes. Yeah, God. Now, in terms of the Battlefront 2 gameplay, we've been discussing this. We're either going to do a live report straight after, or there will be a report on the Sunday, because I know I'm not around on the Saturday evening, but I know I would love to jump on that. But together we'll create some sort of schedule, and we'll post it, so keep your eyes on our Facebook and our Twitter page. Next was something that is really cool, but we'll never be able to afford, and that's the new Star Wars pinball set.
I'm not a big pinball fan, but I do appreciate the artistry that people see in them. It's got the models in there. It's the artwork on them. It's great. There are the videos in there now, especially the more expensive ones. But other than that, pinball has no interest in me at all. So, yeah.
Just amazing they still make them. Especially considering they've released a normal version, a premium version, and a collector's edition version. I don't know how the hell you can afford the regular version, let alone a premium or a collector's edition version. I mean, pinball machines are big, they're heavy, they're usually $1,500 upwards. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's really cool, but yeah, slightly expensive. So yes, that takes care of most of the games until we talk about something that I'm very passionate about, which is more the Star Wars tabletop side of things. We had the preview go up on FFG's website for the Armada Hammerhead Corvette expansion pack. If you watched Rogue One, you'll know of the Hammerhead Corvettes. Well, it's the same ones that are in Rebels as well, so you'll know about those. They've announced them a few months ago. They've now the preview's gone up, and they're due, I think, Q3 of this year. Along with the TIE Aggressor, that's coming out soon as well. The preview for that's gone up. I can't wait for that. A TIE fighter with a turret, yes please. And they announced the X-Wing Guns for Hire expansion pack, which a lot of people in the X-Wing community have been raving about, because finally you've got the Kiraz fighter getting a new upgrade. You can now take, with its title, 3 modifications, all at minor, and every upgrade on the ship is at -1 squad point. So that means you can take a tiny mind link for free, you can have expertise for 3 points, engine upgrade for 3 points. There's so many variants you can do with that. And the Star Viper is getting finally a long-awaited upgrade. The Star Viper people bought for the auto thrusters in there, the upgrade for that. It's a pack that has been needed for a long time for those 2 ships, although the Scum does need an upgrade because, well, it's not like they're in the top 16 of everything. But yes, that's another rant for another day. Yes, so that's more things coming out from FFG. Now, again, as you guys know, I handle all the tabletop side of things here. And sadly, I was doing my research for tonight's show. I had a migraine all day, so it's been hard for me to look at a computer screen most of the day. Annoyingly, no matter where I've looked on Facebook, on the FFG Organized Play, or FFG website, they haven't yet put up the full listing of the Imperial Assault, X-Wing Armada, or Destiny, or Living Card Game winners from the European Championships at the UK Games Expo, or the North American Championships at Gen Con 2017 that happened over the weekend. As soon as I get all the information for that, I will do a big post on our Facebook page and link it on the Twitter page. So apologies for not having everything ready for this evening. I did try to find it. I looked wherever I could, but couldn't find it yet. So I will do an announcement for that. However, we're going to move now on to our Cantina talk for this evening. And I will continue this part. George is up after me, but for me, first up was the UK Games Expo at the weekend, and I took part in the X-Wing European Championships event. Now, Fantasy Flight Games, or FFG for short, I cannot rate them enough for what they've done for the hobby over the past couple of years. I mean, I remember I went to the 2015 Nationals with a good friend of mine, Matt. We stayed in this god-awful hotel. We called it the Murder Suite. That's definitely not a story for this channel, but oh, it's a story and a half. But yes, I remember it was a sweaty tent outside the expo, 119 people there. I placed 99th back then. And that was, yeah, for me, that was quite good. I only won 2 games, but it was a great event. And from there to where we are now at the European Championships, there were 350 players in the X-Wing section alone. You then had Destiny, Armada, and everything going at the same time. Now, I was lucky enough to stay with George for this event, so I didn't have to book a hotel, so there was no there was no Murder Suite this time around. But yes, so it was a great event. I managed to win 5 games, lost 4, placed 115th out of 350. I had a great time. I met some amazing people. I know for X-Wing, it was won by George Rasta Mace, who's a UK player. So for the first European Championships, it was won by a UK player. The next European Championships were also announced. They're taking place at the UK Games Expo next year as well. They're going to move after that for 2019, but for 2018, it's coming back to the same spot. But the one thing I could say is the community is amazing for this game. We had a technical fault on day 1. Had game 1 start around about 11:45. It was supposed to start at 11:15 because of what had happened in Manchester and what happened in London over the weekend. We also had extra security, but at this point it was just Manchester. Our thoughts do go out to those affected by that. But yes, they had increased security, so they delayed the start so that everyone could get through all the additional bag checks and all the additional security checks, and there were loads. I am very appreciative of that for all the staff, all their effort. I mean, no one wants that to happen. As I said, I've had personal rants with private conversation with friends about this. I thought it was discussing what happened in Manchester. And a friend of mine who was affected by London. My thoughts do go out to those involved. But yes, as I said, there was a lot of extra security, so we started late. The first round was 11:15. Was supposed to be 11:15, started 11:45. And after round 1, their computer system crashed. So you had 350 people. You had 130 tables, something like that, to input all the games manually. And what you have to do, you have to put in the winners, the losers, the MOV. So you have to put in the actual score and calculate who's playing what next on what table. And it took forever. And they were lucky enough that the X-Wing community is so accepting. We just went, okay, it happens. It happens at 20-man tournaments. It takes about half an hour to fix. You can imagine what it's like when you got 350 people. We all understood. We all just got on with it. We all had a good laugh. And it was a wonderful event. I was only there for 2 days. I didn't stay for the third day to see the top 16 play. I was absolutely dead on my feet after that. But it was an amazing event, and I do recommend it. And anyone who does play any of the FFG Star Wars games, you can message us at Ones with the Force, but any conversation on the Facebook page or Twitter page, and I will respond personally, and I will chat to you about that because I absolutely adore these games. But yes, so George, you're up next now with your MCM London experience. But yes, that was my take from the European Championships for Star Wars games. I can't rate them enough. Have fun. Do play them, especially Destiny. And that game takes about 30 minutes. A good card game, but it's fantastic. Anyway, George, you're up.
So I went to MCM London 2 weeks ago. I met everyone's favourite blind ninja. Not Donnie. Well, it is Donnie Yen, but Chira Inway for those that don't know. And I won't lie, that was the only reason I went. That's probably the only reason most of the Star Wars fans went there. And I only went on the Friday. He was there for the Friday, Saturday. Mr. Guy Henry, who was there on the Sunday. There's a lot of other people there. Brien Herring, Warwick Davis, Dave Prowse, load of Star Wars names going. And then the event happened. So me and one of my friends, we got there for 10 a.m. Sorry, not 10 a.m. It started at 10. And we got there at like 9-ish. Obviously, with everything that happened to be extra security checks, yeah, they've got to do that. There's rights to do that. Didn't feel like there was extra security checks. It felt very normal, but that's just me. And yeah, we ran through. It was literally like a zombie apocalypse. The second that it was at Star Wars Celebration last year when we were penned, whereas this time you were allowed through to the middle area. You weren't penned. So you'd pick a door to wait by. Like the Rancor's pit, it would slowly open. And we worked out on the maps where the closest one was. So to get to the autographs, you have to go to an autograph desk first and buy them. Chaos. And we were at the door closest to it. And it got to 10 o'clock and the doors hadn't opened and all these Star Wars fans were ready. They were ready to run. I'm not in like an arrogant point of view, but me and my friend, we were some of the younger guys there. We could outrun most of the other guys there. And then I heard the door on our left open, and I just ran. I sprinted. My friend followed me because he was there for Power Rangers stuff. It was literally like the end of like World War Z or something. We just charged, and we got to the autograph desk. We were 8th in line, which was great. Got my Donnie an autograph. But the best moment though was when the shutter door opened, like the Rancor pit, and it was full of confused Star Wars fans as to why there's already a queue of like 50 people. Because they didn't listen to the other door opening on the other side. And then what happened is we joined the Donnie Yen queue 9:05. Sorry, 10:05. Got to 11 o'clock, no Donnie Yen. He's meant to be there at 10. Got to 11:15, no Donnie Yen. Went on Instagram, 8 minutes past 11, Donnie Yen sent an image out that he was waiting outside his hotel room because they forgot to pick him up. Donnie Yen turned up at 12:15. And we waited 2 hours, 15 minutes to meet Donnie Yen. The only other person I wanted to meet was Brien Herring. Got a notification at 10 o'clock. Brien Herring was no longer attending on the Friday. Okay, that happened. Billy Piper was meant to be on the Saturday, Sunday. She pulled out. Warwick Davis was meant to be on the Friday. He pulled out at 10 a.m. as well. Some Star Trek woman. She said, I am coming after lunch now, not before. Other people a signing stand collapsed on Vern Troyer. I'm not joking. A signing, literally, it collapsed. It was brutal. He's alive, but the organisation skills were terrible. And with the Donnie Yen stuff, there were VIP badge holders who got to jump the queue. Felt bad for them because they paid to jump the queue and actually waited 2 hours. And it was a horrific organised event, but it was good. I got to meet Donnie Yen. He was lovely. Signed my Star Wars Celebration Rogue One poster from last year. He put We Are Ones with the Force. I liked that. That was kind of cool. And yeah, I met him. And then we went round, did our normal business. They had an exclusive, not Samuel L. Jackson pop, sorry, a Mace Windu pop, which my friend picked up because he was desperate for that. And I went like, it looked awesome. There were thousands of them there, to be fair, to last the days. So he picked that one up. And then I had a Donnie Yen photo shoot. Oh, God. It was meant to start at 1:45. Got in the queue at 1:45. Still waiting at 2:30. Woman comes past at 2:30, says, where is he? She goes, he's doing a signing upstairs for the VIPs to get them tomorrow. Because with the VIPs, they get a normal signing and an autograph, like I guess a pre-printed one. But because he was so late, they decided to screw over everyone else that was waiting to meet him and have that done. So he came to his photo shoot 1 hour late, and they zipped through it. This is very weird. The picture came out terrible with me and him. Every time I've never really been one for professional photos, but 90% of them, as people may have seen on my, if anyone's got me on Facebook, if they've got YouTube, they've seen my private accounts. It's me and Mark Hamill. It's landscape, basically from the shoulders up, like this. Me and Mark Hamill, perfect. Donnie Yen was portrait, and you could even see the shoes. And I didn't know that was going to happen, so my hand's not tucked into my pocket. If I'd have known, like every other portrait picture I've done, I tuck my hands in my pockets. So it kind of looks like I'm just going to make a sick joke, but I can't. But it looked like I had something wrong with me.
It looks, to be fair, it looks like you've been caught off guard.
I have been caught off guard. I was completely caught off guard. I hated the image. They were rushing people through. The guy said, if you want to meet him, he'll put his hand out. He looked shattered, but he would still be nice with everyone. The terrible first experience of him doing a convention. I doubt he'll ever go to one again. People are flown over from China to meet him. That's how big this was to people. Yeah. MCM, man, they fucked up badly. I'm sorry, language, but they
that's twice this evening, George.
I had a lot more expletives on that day. I think I was messaging you in the queues.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Yeah. Terribly organized, and it made Star Wars Celebration look like God's gift of organizing. But you know what? It wasn't organized well, but it's been organized better than everything I've been to recently. And I'll be going to the Showmasters event in July. And hopefully a signing stand doesn't cups anyone at that one too. And they don't forget to pick the guests up. And they don't delay photo shoots, and they don't do a whole lot wrong. It was terrible. There were a lot of stuff that went on across the weekend from what I was reading. He was late again the next day, not 2 hours late, but still late. An interesting experience. I still got to meet him, which was awesome. He's my first Rogue One poster signee. Signed most of the Rogue One poster, but I can live with that. It was cool to meet him. We spoke about. I try not to speak about Star Wars. I did, but we spoke about Ip Man. Amazing film for those who haven't seen it, but he seemed kind of excited still. But I was luckily one of the first few to meet him. I guess that helps a lot. Whereas, when he was an hour late for his autograph session, people were in the autograph queue for him. God knows how long they would have been waiting for him probably to come back from a quick break. But terribly organized by MCM. Absolute embarrassment. The fact that so many guests cancelled on the day, and they would have cancelled in the lead up, but they decided not to tell anyone until the day. The Warwick Davis one, a guy next to us in the queue says, "You joking? Warwick Davis isn't here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "They sold me 2 autograph tickets this morning at 10 o'clock when it opened." And the queue to get back to the autograph store was at least 40 minutes. And
that's crazy.
Terrible.
But I know, I guess they do it because of that. If they announce these departures before the doors open, then they get less of a crowd there because people are going there to see certain people. And I guess once you're there, you're in. Well, we might as well stay. But it's a shame because it's. My only experience has been the Star Wars celebrations, and it was as unorganized as it sometimes felt. It still felt like there was some organizing behind it. They knew what was going on. It's a shame that it kind of spoiled the experience. And I think when you meet some of these people, they say if you're really looking to meet Donnie Yen in the first few, because I'm guessing by the time he got through 100, 150, that he would have been. Those pictures were a lot worse later on.
Yeah. Oh God, he looked shattered on the pictures, and someone said he wasn't moving, but he put his hand out to shake my hand. I've never really had that in a picture. That was really odd. But I'm happy I met him. But
was your hand crushed?
Well, I'm like a foot taller than him, so it might have been the other way around. But it's a terrible picture, and
I've seen.
It won't be long before I change it. Trust me, it won't be long. It was just great to have that picture still to laugh at one day in the future. Like when I met Jason Momoa, put my thumb up because I thought he was, and he was actually doing that. So I look like a twat. No, I look like a twit. Sorry.
That's 3.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think that's enough citing conventions. Hopefully, let's put it this way: in July, I'll be meeting the Emperor, and that picture better be glorious.
I might have to send you up my Blu-ray to get signed for that.
I need to nail that. I want a picture caption: "We are the Senate." Drop the mic, leave, never come back.
No, drop lightsaber. Yeah, no, for sure. So yes, that is our usual One to the Force rant out the way. Dave, question: George, I'm wondering this
because I had nothing to talk about, so I was quite enjoying just sitting back. But absolutely, fire a question at me.
Yes, so we spoke about this not last episode before. You went out to see the Madame Two Swords experience. We gave you your little piece on that. Did you also go to Identities? Because we thought you did, but we can't remember if you did or didn't.
I did go to Identities. I went after I'd been to Two Swords. That was my second destination. To be honest, I enjoyed what it was. I was a little bit disappointed with it. I loved seeing the props, the interactive bit. I was a bit like, it was fine. I like making my little Gungan that I made. And some of those props are unreal. The weirdest one that had the biggest effect on me was seeing Jabba's eye.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That's I sat there.
Not a euphemism at all in any way, but it's to see what was left of that entire costume that you know so well is quite unreal. It's still a wonderful experience. I mean, you get through so many of those costumes. Those I can't seeing how cheaply some of them are put together. The box on Darth Vader's chest, some of those buttons are bits of plywood painted, and it's just like this is like you can see how on a budget and a shoestring some of these things were. So I did enjoy it. I got a lot out of it. I spent some money. I got the nice hardback edition of the program.
We both did, yeah.
Yeah. So and. Overall, it was a great day. I mean, I was in London for like 12 hours, and I did Two Swords, and I did that. So it was a big Star Wars filled day. And yeah, I mean, for what it was, I enjoyed it. I wanted more from it. I was in there about 45 minutes, and I would have quite happily walked around something twice, 3 times as big as that. I get it's a traveling thing, so I think it's a French company who have designed it, so I guess they only get so many things given to them to show. And what was there was amazing. The pieces, I mean, some of the my sister was with me, Emma, and some of Padme's dresses were there, and just seeing some of those, like the intricate work that went into those compared to what you saw from the original films is just the workmanship had gone up by so much.
You say that. We just had a comment down below, because I remember this as well, that Qui-Gon's little transmitter he has, the radio from episode 1, it's a woman's razor.
Woman's Gillette, other razors are available. Yeah, woman's Gillette razor. But yes, I mean, I really, really did enjoy it. It was a great day. It was just a massive Star Wars day, and I can't wait to do it again. I hope they expand on Two Swords. That was so worth going to, and I can recommend that just so highly that people go and enjoy that. It's that was an experience in itself. But yeah, I did. It was really, really. It was good, but I was disappointed that it wasn't more.
Yeah, because we both went, we both loved it, but we couldn't remember because we thought you were going on April, but we couldn't remember if you had gone or not. But yes, so yeah, that's this evening's One with the Force. I don't think there's anything else to add this evening, gentlemen.
No. George, go.
Yeah, get hyped for Battlefront and go buy Crispy Anakin Lego piece. I'm going to open it later on. Nope, this side. There we go. It doesn't include a sound effect of no, but you can put it on your iTunes if you want to.
Why would anyone do that? Why?
And one thing I will say, there was no Star Wars this week because this may be the first ever time there's been nothing for a section.
Which saddens me because I love Star Wars. That's my baby.
It's very bizarre.
For being a big news week, there are a lot of things that we don't have, and I think please just keep on liking, keep watching, keep subscribing, come on board the Facebook channel. We're getting more and more likes on there, and that's where a lot of our news is. If we get once the news out there, that'll be the first place we put it. Yeah. So yeah, just keep liking. There's a big button down there that says subscribe. Just do that, because why wouldn't you? But yeah, it's just nice to have you on board. We're going to be here every 2 weeks to talk about Star Wars, and why wouldn't people enjoy sitting and listen to that? It's awesome times. Yeah. So yeah, and hopefully a bit more. So hopefully we'll have another drop in when we've had the Battlefront gameplay on Saturday. So yeah, so it's all fun. It's all good in the future. Come join us.
Indeed. So like I said, welcome to those when I was playing X-Wing, I gave a bunch of our cards out. So if anyone has joined us from the European Championships from the Expo, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. It was fun to play against you all. Not win sometimes, but still, it was always fun. But yes, I think that's it for this evening. We've been Ones of the Force. May the Force always be with you. Join us in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.